Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. Oh, it says I'm muted. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. Great. Okay. Hello. Very happy to be here to deliver this session about Agile product development. Thank you, organizer, for the invite, and thank you all of you for being here. So first, we start with a snapshot view of who I am. So I'm a China-born Canadian from Montreal, Quebec, living in Stockholm, Sweden. That's why you see 3 flags up there. And product development has been something very dear to my heart over the past 30 years of professional working experience. So I have a lot of curiosity as a person. So I have worked from the very beginning of product development, include business development, product management, and project management, system architect, and build the product, and also customer support, and also working as a management team member for R&D organizations with over 10,000 employees, and also worked with different parts of the system in the organization to support the whole product development cycle that include the supply chain management and finance, marketing, sales, and also HR business partners and all of that. And then I also headed the Ericsson Global Transformation Support Center supporting the telecom equipment company with over 100,000 employees globally for continuous improvement, utilizing Agile and Lean as vehicles to achieve the goal of the product and the business. And also a snapshot view as well, that globally I'm one of the few who hold all the guide level qualification from coaching perspective, from a leadership perspective, and from also Agile coaching skill, and also product coaching and Scrum training. And then I have also been serving as an advisor to IEEE software since 2013. And there, my focus is about large-scale Agile development, the Agile architecture angle, and Agile software development. Additionally, I'm also serving as a member of the board of directors to the Scrum Alliance. So for some of you who may not be so familiar, if not yet, with the Scrum Alliance is the largest Scrum community, the largest certification body with a mission of transforming the world of work. And being a board member here also comes with a disclaimer as well. Everything I speak about today represents my own personal professional experience and my own opinion only, and does not represent the Scrum Alliance or the Scrum Alliance board. And then I also, in 2017, I founded my own company in Sweden after I was a little bit bored with telecom, have had the opportunity working with automotive industry, banking, financial services, airlines, pharmaceutical sectors, with regard to Agile and digital transformation. I also co-founded Enterprise Coaching Institute, focusing on coaching-based leadership, Agile leadership, and growing enterprise coaches globally. So as of this month, November 2023, I have had the privilege supporting practitioners from 80 countries globally. And then now let's take a look at my talk after you know who I am. And so today's talk, I will start to first zoom into Agile a little bit before we talk about the potentials that we have with regards to Agile product development. I know possibly you might be thinking about, Agile, we have been working with Agile for quite some time now. We know what Agile is. And if so, if I could ask you to hold your curiosity slightly and then be a little patient, and then let's take a look at what are some possible opportunities in the conversation about Agile. And then we look into Agile product development together. And the key is about focusing on the next steps for product development. And then we transition into summary and reflections. And then we take a look at any questions you may have. And first, let's take a look at Agile. The moment we talk about Agile, I'm very sure, we have been working with a lot of things, such as we have been having our daily Scrum, daily meetings, and we hold retrospectives. And some of you will say, yeah, we're working with a product backlog, we're working with team backlog, user stories, and we're working with either Scrum or Kanban. And in our company around us, possibly yourself also are holding product owner role, Scrum Master role, Agile coaches, or even possibly working as a release train engineer. And certainly, I agree with you. You're correct from that perspective. And then globally, there has been a lot of different practices. And then given that I have experience working with practitioners from 80 countries and globally taking a snapshot view, yes, a lot of things are happening, and they use method, for instance, to prioritize, and then they iteratively, incrementally work with the product and services, which is all great. And then now the question will be, can we actually say that, we're actually pretty okay because of all the practices we are working with? Before we take a look at yes, they are, yes, not, what are the opportunity, let's zoom into neuroscience quickly, and then we can make a conclusion together. So our human brain has two parts, the left and the right. And then now if we use our left brain, normally what happens is that we'll be expecting things such as logical skills, and we are looking at analytical skills and details, and we will be very facts and detailed oriented, and we work with our perceptions, logical tasks, and we work a lot with also sequencing processes and steps, procedures, and we prioritize, we execute, we plan, we deliver a lot of facts and all these daily activity. That all goes into the left side of the brain. And then if we switch now to the right side of the brain, what do we work with? Well, we work with a lot of touchy stuff. That could be feelings and social, emotional, and that also goes into our value system, my belief, and also in that case also covers a lot about us being creative, innovative, collaborative, a lot of trust, all of that. And now let's take a look. The long list of practices we are working with, where do they stand? And certainly you will immediately say, yes, they all land into the left side of the brain. And then what could possibly be on the right side then? Well, there can be different parts that possibly also we might be missing also in most organization. And this may not be something just missing from your organization. It's actually also something very common that shows up globally as well. The things are missing potentially could be, and not only missing for a day or two, but missing for a little while. So therefore, that could potentially be trust, we can have more, and transparency. You might have heard people talking about, if your organization have had some transparency issue working with Agile, potentially that could be challenging. That's very true. Yeah. And then, so therefore, a lot about the missing environment in organization to help people to gradually build more trust, to really have true transparency, and the environment also to support us to be more collaborative, more transparent. People are more engaged, empowered, motivated, and then self-organizing team. Sometimes I always joke, it's not a switch you can just turn on and off. Tomorrow we want to have a self-organizing team, we can switch it on. Instead, we really need to have the environment in the organization. So now that we all have heard about these words, however, these unfortunately are missing in many organizations. And what is really missing is about the being part and the value and the belief and the system and the environment of the organization that could support the organization in the very best way. And now with that understanding, let's take a look. If, assume all of us, we have a pair of glasses we're wearing, and then normally in my coaching or training sessions, I joke quite a bit. I actually ask participants to try to wear a pair of glasses with Agile lenses. And through sessions, they will be able to gradually gain more insights, be able to see more and more things through the Agile lenses. So through these Agile lenses, we'll be able to see definitely customer focus, customer collaboration. We're able to see individuals who are engaged and motivated, and we have teams who are self-organizing, who are continuously delivering value. Certainly, we also see leaders who are supporting us, building and supporting the environment and to improve our human system, and definitely many more things also. So now we have a better understanding of what Agile is, where we are approximately, what are possibly missing. Let's take a look at why do we work with Agile from the first place. I always get requests from different clients in different industry, and then they always ask for support of different kind. However, too often what happened could be when I start to have a deeper conversation, then I start to realize, and many actually just want to work with Agile, just want to work with Scrum, and not really thinking about how we could utilize Agile, how we could work with Scrum to be where we want to be. I always joke about, for instance, now I have a teacup next to me, and you will not pay for this teacup more just because the team who are building it, the company who built it are working with Agile. You buy the teacup because you like it for some reason. So therefore, it's about the product and services that people are buying and paying for. So therefore, and no matter where you are on your Agile journey at this moment, it's never too late to reflect and to think about, you know what, being Agile is really not the goal. And instead, we want to see Agile as a vehicle, as a means to achieve the goal for your product, for your organization. And every organization have our very unique situation. I hear this a lot during my coaching and consulting time with client. We're different. And yes, we are. Each one of us are different. Each organization is different. Your product is different as well. So therefore, what is the unique situation of your product and services? And what do you want to achieve through Agile? And instead of continuously thinking about how can we work with Agile practices, start never too late to think about how can we further utilize Agile to be able to achieve the goal we're hoping for. And then it's great to talk about that. And then that means, what does it mean for us? So now let's take a look at Agile product development. And what are we hoping for in terms of product and services? We work with Agile certainly to be able to achieve something. Yeah. And in order to look into that, one of the important topics to look into first is to look at our current product and services. So although it said the product, however, certainly Agile today is being used everywhere. So therefore that can be a service. Sometimes I say, maybe I'm working with a restaurant. I can certainly work with that also. I'm working with a specific consulting services that can also be that also. So therefore, no matter what you're working with, and you want to think about what is your current unique situation, that can be, where about are you with regards to your product life cycle? And then, are you maybe in the very early stage of the product? You're trying to build a new product and services. Maybe you haven't launched yet. If so, you certainly want to focus on being very effective to really make sure you have a product and market fit the moment you launch. So actively focusing on being effectively solving potential problems, making sure we're actually launching our product, targeting to the right customer segments. On the other hand, maybe you're saying, you know what, our product has been launched. And then also, where about are you? Are you still in the early stage in product lifecycle? We call this blue area that is introduction phase. Are you working with the introduction phase and trying to gradually expand to go into growth stage? If so, maybe you're still also focusing on being very effective and want to really be fast and want to collaborate with early adopters for your product so that you can continuously enhance your product in a very effective manner to make your product really shine among all the competitors. Or maybe your product, you have some sort of a right product and market fit now, and you might also want to think about I want to offer some new value proposition at this moment. Maybe you look at your market expansion. So therefore, where about are you? Maybe many of us, when we're working with Scrum, possibly started because if you look at the management history, and normally we work with the products that has been having many decades of legacy in the market and focusing a lot on optimizing on efficiency, focus a lot on process, on efficiency. So therefore, maybe your product, your organization also feel, yeah, our product is more or less in maturity stage as more important that we want to optimize. So therefore, in short, a quick understanding of number one, where you are with regard to your product lifecycle situation, and also have a strategy as well with regards to what could be a potential ideal next step. And then possibly depends on the situation, maybe, and now more and more companies are talking about innovation. So therefore, from an innovation perspective also, are we looking at very disruptive innovation, or are we looking at sustaining innovation? Or maybe your focus is on, you know what, our product has been on maturity stage for quite some time. Our focus is on our product extension. Sometimes also in product, we also call this product revitalization. We want to make sure instead of going downward into the red area, which is the decline stage, and we try to really extend and revitalize. So then you're aiming at continuous support and preserve a product throughout the product life cycle. You want to make sure it goes long and longer. So are you focused on that extension strategy to maintain your product in the maturity stage in the life cycle and to increase your market share and avoid your product entering decline stage? Or maybe you're trying to keep your customer interested in the product to deliver more sales. You stay in the same stage, you focus more on more sales. So therefore, maybe you're also trying to focus on how do we differentiate your product and services. So here, when we talk about product extension, one of the possible strategy is to differentiate your product and services. And what is that your unique selling points of your product? Is it more functional related about functionality? Maybe you're more looking into what are some possible opportunity to enhance our product, and what are some possible underserved desired from our customer segments, and what are some possible pinpoints opportunities are out there. Or maybe is more related to non-functional requirement related, such as maybe reliability, performance, and all the ETs in general that can be scalability, security, safety, availability, portability, all the ETs that are non-functional requirement related. And so differentiation is among the most effective method to extend the product life cycle of an existing product. It involves making the product literally stand out compared with the competitors in the market. And it is normally done usually by highlighting the differences between product and its competitors. And this can include also highlighting the feature that could be functional or non-functional, and the benefits as well that will make your product very, very different, very superior compared with the others in the market. So with that, what your product have, your product situation, and then certainly if so, then you want to see how you can use Agile and Scrum to be able to focus on your strategy to achieve what you want to achieve. However, maybe your strategy is different. Maybe your strategy is about identifying new market. So to a certain extent, maybe finding new market is an easier way, maybe to extend the life cycle of your product. It depends a lot on your unique situation. Remember just now we talked about how every product situation is different, every organization is different. So therefore, maybe for you, depends on your situation, finding new market could be easier. And so therefore, your strategy could be focusing on our existing target customers while trying to find the new markets. That can be your strategy. Then certainly you could utilize again Agile, Scrum as a vehicle to be where you want to be. That in that direction also. At the same time, maybe you're thinking about more about a repositioning. So therefore, normally when your product stay in the product life cycle for quite some time, your customer preferences, and that can be also the customer's demand, the need, the market has shifted. So therefore, the patterns from customers will continuously evolve. So therefore, maybe it's time for us to revisit what is the positioning strategy to maintain the sales and growth you're hoping for. That as a first step. Of course, you might even think about, you know what, we want to work with brand repositioning. That is definitely also a deliberate adjustment you want to do with regard to your product. So therefore, repositioning of a product will involve exploring new market. It doesn't really exactly mean that targeting the same customers in the new customer segments in the new market. It takes the same product to a new target market or add value to appeal even maybe a different audience entirely. So therefore, if we have a repositioning strategy, is to make sure we will update our product from a different angle of the product to make sure it will be a continuous success and continuously being recognized as its brand identity. And then if that is your strategy, once again, certainly you will utilize Agile and Scrum in a very different way also. So therefore, now if we reflect back a little, it doesn't matter exactly where your product is, whether your product is really, this is we're a startup company, we just launched the product and we're really very early stage of our product and our company. That can of course be a legacy company start to really evolve and come in with a brand new product. So whether you're in a relatively earlier stage, or you're actually, in a much later stage of your product that has been in the market maybe for a decade or two, if not longer. And then in short, the question is, what do you hope to achieve for your product? So strategy-wise, what is the strategy? And that's when we will be able to really utilize Agile and Scrum as a vehicle to help us to be able to achieve where we want to be. However, thinking about, ideally we want to achieve that, and then at the same time, it's always good to reflect as well. That is, we have been working with Agile and Scrum for some time now. Certainly depends on which company you're working with, which industry. However, Could be. I even have clients who actually started from 2001 already working with Agile, and even before that working with Scrum. So therefore, it doesn't really matter how long you have been on the journey. It's always good to reflect. What have we achieved with Agile, with Scrum so far? And then next one is about your product life cycle. So what is your unique situation and on your product life cycle, no matter where about are you in your product life cycle? And particularly given that if you look at the composition of companies, small company, medium-sized company, large company, and the number of people working in large companies, so therefore there's a higher possibility many of us actually work with a legacy product or product in maturity stage one way or another. And also, with time goes by, if we compare with decades ago when we were working with people were working with black and white TV, the product life cycle was really long. And nowadays, product life cycle is very short, much shortened. So therefore, one way or the other, just a matter of time. Your product, given the high competition and the shift of technology, and sooner or later will go through your product life cycle anyways. So therefore, where are you in that at this moment? What's your unique situation, and what more would you like to achieve? So that will be some thinking that we could certainly do along the journey. And that's also a continuous exercise as well. And then now let's take a look at some possible application when we're working with it. Given based on our earlier conversation, you know what, globally, many companies are working with Scrum, working with Agile, working with all these different practices. So therefore, we don't really possibly have challenges so much in terms of execution, so that we want to work with continuous value delivery. Although I mentioned we don't have a lot of challenge, however, that certainly differ from industry to industry. And then for some of us, possibly we're doing continuous deployment delivery. However, for some of us, we possibly struggle a little to even make a 2-week delivery to make sure the increment we're delivering is really valuable to the customer, serving the purpose and allowing us to be able to get feedback to make decisions on our product. Then at the same time, you possibly wonder, then what do we do with regards to all the activity we talk about possibly new market, new customers, new value propositions? How do we work with that then? Well, I'm very sure that could be something very familiar to you also, at least I hope you're working with it. That will be continuously doing product discovery, helping us to be able to evaluate where exactly are we going, and where are we going to the right direction or not? Yeah. So with what about all the possibility we talk about, and therefore thinking about how could we benefit from product discovery definitely will be very, very important, so that we will be able to understand exactly what are some potential pain of the customer. Sometimes I use the analogy of a pain and the painkiller. So what is the pain that we possibly have, the target customer segments are suffering from? And too often, we make a lot of decisions on our product. However, we all have different type of cognitive biases. That biases could potentially come in from people like us who are product people making decisions for the product. And that can be, for instance, can be a simple confirmation bias that I have. I may have a conversation with my customer. However, when the customer was speaking about their situation, their challenge, and then due to confirmation bias, I might actually hear what I actually wanted to hear to support my original belief. And then imagine if I continue building a product and based on my confirmation bias, so that means we most likely will be building either a product that people don't find useful. We might be also be building different functionality and features, and even it's free for a customer, they may not want to use. However, at the same time, there's a lot of challenge for us if we do so. Number one, that is we are super busy. Every organization, and now we're working with longer hours, a lot more pressure. And what happened is people are super busy. However, if we spend time and effort building new functionalities the customer don't really need, and then certainly we will end up with a situation also with a much bigger product base. And then it's so much difficult to troubleshoot the existing problem. It's so much more difficult also to add new features to a much bigger product compared with a much smaller product. So therefore, we all have cognitive biases. So therefore, that's where we, instead of making decisions and keep going, instead is more, how can we benefit from product discovery activities before we make a decision to make a new product? And also, how can we work with continuous product discovery to make sure we continuously collecting data, continuously measure, continuously learn, continuously make decision whether or not we will be building it. If so, what do we build? And if not, how do we pivot? Which direction do we go? So therefore, through ongoing continuous discovery activity, that will be able to help us to be able to make sure we really build product, and we really also build product and that's continuously inspecting, adapting based on our strategic plan as well. And now you possibly wonder, how do we work with both? We certainly could work with both. Yeah. So both pathway can help achieve values we are hoping for. However, we have to know what we are hoping for to start with. So if now back to our left brain and right brain, if everybody can embrace agile value and principles and have both sides of their brains, and we have new innovative ideas, and certainly all these new ideas will be emerging and we'll be able to continuously run product discovery activity to make decision for our product. We'll be able to also deliver our product as well, so that we can continuously enhancing our product and continuously executing our product strategy to really make sure our product will be standing out among our competitions, instead of doing shoulder check and day in and day out, try to see, oh, where are they now? We want to really outpace our competition by having clear strategy, and also clear strategy that will support us to be able to move forward. And now I will share some example from organization I have supported at a very high level. So a few things that can be really important is that we really always want to make sure we're building right things in the right ways. Yeah. So that is a continual activity we want to do. So therefore, one thing we want to focus on is about outcome over output. And then for some of you who are familiar with Agile Manifesto, possibly you're familiar with, Agile Manifesto comes in with something on the left over right. Yeah. And it doesn't clearly outline the importance of outcome over output is more embedded into the Agile Manifesto and principle, which is why back in 2019, after I keynoted at the Agile conference, Agile 2019, I was interviewed if we have to update Agile Manifesto, given Agile, is sort of old, and what would you do? If and only if I have to do it, I would add in certainly the dimension of outcome over output, because that's where we want to continuously identifying what is the outcome, what is the goal we're hoping for, and continuously prioritize, continuously maximize that. On the other hand, we of course want to make sure also we want to minimize output. So minimize output could potentially be that, we used to write so many documents And what information do we exactly need? And do we need all the information in the documents we have? Can we have maybe new document so that we combine information into the new document so that we produce some document that we really need to enable us to achieve the outcome we're hoping for? So that's one particular area. However, at the same time, many organizations start to work with Agile, work with Scrum, and still have the same document, sometimes even add a new document in there. On the other hand, it can also be in terms of outcome over output, can also be minimizing the effort we have to produce output. And that can potentially be a simple example could be we want to maybe automate. Yeah, if we could automate it, why do we want to work with that manually? And if so, what will be the priority? What do we automate first and second? So therefore, outcome over output to help us to continuously making sure we're always building things in the very right way. In addition, we of course also, from the example that I have worked with organization, is to improve our product offering as well. So looking at both product discovery track and also execution track is more how can we improve our product offering so that we can increase our market share? How do we utilize our product discovery part so that we can really execute and to make sure our strategy will be realized. And I also have worked with some clients. We actually work with revitalization of product. And that is, what will be the revitalization strategy with regard to our product? And then take a look again also, how do we utilize the product discovery angle and also in execution angle, how can we improve? So in short, I'm very sure also for many of you have heard about the creation of new product. Certainly we benefit a lot from both product discovery and also the agile execution. And also could be we have products already and now we just want to make sure we have something that's complement to our existing product offering. So therefore, in short, we have achieved a lot, and then some of these are things I have achieved through working with different clients, depends on their situation. All of these are things we could have achieved working with agile product development. So therefore, it's not just about being able to deliver. There's so much, I always say, intelligence and strategy goes into it. And this is what I wanted to share. And now let's take a look at our summary. Should I actually say reflections? That might be a better word. So it's great that we spend time together. It's great to hear different insights, different practices. However, at the same time, it's even more important to actually take time to reflect on the content that we just discussed. So now, without me talking, a quick ask from my end could be, based on what I have just shared, what are some of your takeaway message? And you can individually reflect a little. Doing individual reflection can always be helpful. At the same time, of course, I would like to share a few things that I would like you to reflect upon. It doesn't matter what's your current situation. It's never too much. It's never too late to evaluate. So number one, that will be, even you started maybe with a goal that's very product business oriented goal, which is great. However, it's never too late to evaluate and too much to sit down again to see what's our situation. How could we utilize Agile as a vehicle to achieve our next goal? So therefore, what goals are you hoping for to achieve using Agile as a vehicle? And the second, that can be, certainly we're evaluating as also from a coaching perspective. Let's also bring a touch of positive energy into the situation. That will be, what value have you achieved working with Agile so far? And that then you can see, you know what, this is what we have achieved. And then what else can we achieve? And how can we make sure the part that we want to achieve can support our product strategy? All in all, we want to use Agile as a vehicle to build a better product, to align with our strategy to achieve what we're hoping for. On the other hand, of course, every organization, every product is different. However, how can we benefit more from product discovery? I intentionally put the more in there. Why? Because too often that's part of our mental model also. Yeah, you know what? We do product discovery. I work with different product coaching situation where I hear people telling me, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we do user research. We do this, we do that. However, though, zooming into it, there can always be so much more. A simple example could be, yeah, we do customer interview. Yeah, we do surveys. However, when we look into product mentoring, look into interview questions, look into survey questions, there's so much more we can improve. So therefore, how can we benefit more from a product discovery? And that's a few reflection questions I'd like you to think about. And well, you're thinking about it. And then also here is my contact as well. So well, you continuously thinking and reflecting on your situation. And I work with Agile, work with Scrum. I think about it all the time about Agile, Scrum, Kanban, product leadership, coaching, every day. So you're most invited to connect with me. That's a linking QR code. If you have any further questions, reflections in the future. And as this is only a very short presentation that we're working with today, there's certainly so much more about how do we do it and exactly what can be a strategy. And not also every product has a good sound strategy yet. If you want to talk more about it, please feel invited to connect. Though I'm based in Stockholm most of the time, you know what? Now with virtual, so convenient. I'm just one message away or one video call away. So thank you so much for your time. And that ends my session for today.